And then on defense, Utah did just enough to keep Kawhi and PG in check. Utah rallies for the win over the Clippers. Here's the man of the hour, Donovan Mitchell, after the game.
I let my team down in the first half on both ends of the floor. I let Reggie and Luke kind of get hot. They were kicking my ass a little bit. I came in the locker room. I wasn't making the right reads in the first half, so I said, you know what, guys, it's on me. At the end of the day, it's on me, and, I had to go out there and just set the tone, and we did our thing.
Terrible third quarter to start the half. Up, 13 or 14 in the third just started. And we just came out flat. They came out, they were playing desperation ball the whole night. And, we didn't match it until late. But, I think the positive out of it is, we gave ourselves a chance. Regardless we gave this one up with a flat third, still give ourselves a chance to win this.
All right, Chris Broussard, I'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from Game 1?
Well, Jenna, as I was watching that game last night, a thought came to my mind that I have never, ever had during a basketball game, or period, to be honest.
Great.
And that thought was,
great.
Wilds was right. Wilds was right. Wow. Donovan, he said it yesterday, and I did agree with him yesterday, but he said Donovan Mitchell is about to have a coming out party, and I agree. Donovan Mitchell is that rare player who puts up superstar numbers but isn't viewed as a superstar. And it is rare for a guy to average 26 points, 5 assists, lead his team in scoring. That team has the best record in the NBA, and he is nowhere near the MVP discussion. And I think some of it's because he's... No, and he did miss games, but even before he got injured late in the season, he wasn't in the discussion. So I don't think if he had played just about every game, he probably wouldn't have gotten many votes, if any. So I think that will change with this series. We know he was great in the bubble last year. They didn't get out of the first round, though. I think after this series, he will be viewed as a bona fide superstar. He's not an efficient scorer. He shot below 44% this year. But I think if they can win or lose, to be honest, if they play the Clippers tough, or even if they win, obviously, I think he will raise his status will raise, and he may even go up in Knicks tiers. I got to believe that. So I got to give Wild some props. It's ironic that Dwayne Wade was there in the front row, because I think Mitchell plays like Dwayne Wade with a three-point shot. That's what he reminds me. He reminds me of Wade with a three-point shot. On the other hand, look, if you're the Clippers, I didn't expect them to win coming off the emotional Game 7 win just 2 days ago. You could say, if you're a Clippers fan, hey, Kawhi didn't play well. He only had 23 points. Paul George didn't play well, shot 4 for 17, and we still had a chance to win. Here's the thing, though. Mike Conley didn't play, and maybe he'll be back for Game 2. Probably, certainly will be back for Game 3. So you got that. And then here's the other thing. Paul George has not been shooting the ball well lately. Over the last 3 games, now they obviously won 2 of those in Dallas, but over the last 3 games, he's shooting 32%. He's had big moments. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter last night, but they're going to need consistently good play from Paul George. I'm tired of seeing him at the press conferences with his head down, cornrows glistening, and just talking in solemn tones. So I'm not worried about Kawhi, but they're going to need more from Paul George on a consistent basis.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I'm playing with house money now, Nick. Broussard's back from Vegas, and I'm feeling lucky. I'm back. So I'm going to double down on my Donovan take, because in these playoffs, we know that some guys don't love it, Paul George being one of them. The best we think Paul George is going to get to is like dealing effectively with the playoff pressure. And then there's other guys like Donovan Mitchell, who scored 50 twice in that series in the bubble. It's like, you know what? I love the pressure. You know what, Jazz? You keep me out of Game 1. I'm mad at you. I want to play. I'm dying to play. And that's why I had a big game. So this is why I'm doubling down. Not only is he one of the best superstars right now in the league, perhaps he's an all-time playoff performer. We can look at this stat. Look at this.
Now, see.
Got some GOATs up there and Donovan Mitchell. Is this a bridge too far for you, Nick, even though it's 100% accurate?
Yeah. Yeah, Wilds didn't just double down. Here's what Wilds did. Wilds won. That's by the way, the police coming to arrest Wilds for that premature take. Wilds didn't just double down. He won a double down hand, and then the very next hand he got 2 10s, and he's like, split them, dealer. I'm feeling lucky. It's like, nah, buddy, just take your win and be happy. Listen, Donovan was great. There's no doubt about it, and he is a guy that I don't view as a superstar. I view as a star. And to me, the very clear line is, can you have a bad game in a terrible spot and avoid a bad game in a big spot, pardon me, and avoid, getting crushed for it? If you can, you're typically not a superstar. So now I am curious, and this can be a separate discussion, if Broussard is calling him, he mentioned the tears, same draft class as Jason Tatum, I do wonder who you'd rather have, Tatum or Donovan Mitchell. Donovan obviously has greater playoff moments, but we don't have to have that discussion. Here's the thing, Brandon. This game was not shocking in either half. It was not shocking that the team that had been off almost a week came out ice cold, and the Clippers carried some of that momentum from the emotional win 6 and 7 into the first half. And it was not shocking that by the end of the game, the Clippers were dead. I know they had a little flourish in the final minute, but they got annihilated the first 20 minutes of the second half. It was their 8th game in 18 days. All super high-pressure games, all high-leverage games. Meanwhile, the Jazz have been chilling for almost a week, so they had more in the tank, and they have the only truly, fully sold-out crowd, which helps them. So I don't think you can take a ton from this game prognosticating the series, other than Donovan is on the precipice of going from star to superstar with a few more performances similar to this one.
100%. That was the biggest takeaway. Spider Mitchell, phenomenal. But every time I'm watching these games, I'm looking for a storyline. And that first half, the storyline for me was explosiveness. Like, I'm always, as a player, looking at body language. I'm looking at how guys are moving. And those guys look fresh. I'm talking about the Clippers. They looked explosive. They dominated the first half, and going into the third quarter, they were the best team. It looked like the Utah Jazz wasn't even supposed to be on the same court, in the same arena as them. That's how dominant the Clippers look. And then all of a sudden, Spider Mitchell just turned it on, and he just worked the pick and roll he took it to a whole nother level. When I started playing basketball in 1996, my older brother and I, we had 2 plays. We had give and go, and we had the pick and roll. And we'd be out there just working boys out there in the neighborhood. We call play 1, play 2. And they ran it over and over and over again. And they had no answer for him. So I got to believe that the Clippers will have an answer for him. But you guys are right, man. This dude is ascending to new levels. And Nick, you talked about it earlier in the show, like this whole thing about Shaquille O'Neal. Remember when Shaquille O'Neal called him out? And then it was like he was almost shocked. Like, really? Are you going to do this right now? So, Chris, I do believe that Donovan Mitchell still has that in the back of his mind, and he's out to prove a point.
Yeah, I agree with that, Brandon. And